God is not in a hurry. He's not tapping his foot. He's not checking his watch. He's not impatient with your process. The God of the universe, the one who spoke stars into existence, waits for you without frustration. If this sound reached your heart, hit subscribe. More music like this drops every week. The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. 2 Peter 3, verse 9.
Every human I know is in a hurry. Hurry to arrive, hurry to succeed, hurry to heal, hurry to be whole. But there is a God who sits on the throne of the universe, with no urgency in his soul. He waited 120 years for Noah to finish the ark, while the world mocked the builder in the rain. He waited 400 years in silence between Malachi and Matthew, without saying a single thing in the pain. The God who waits is not passive, he is not absent, he is not distracted by something more interesting on his screen. The God who waits is the most patient being in the universe, and his patience is the most loving thing I've seen. He waits for the prodigal to remember home. He waits for the seed to break the soil. He waits for the tide to turn. And the God who waits for you has been waiting with zero frustration and zero burn. For the Lord is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come home tonight. And the God who waits is the God whose patience is the purest form of light. The God who waits, he is not in a hurry, and he is not frustrated by my process or my pace. The God who waits, patient beyond any human measure, sitting on the throne of grace. 120 years for Noah, 400 years of silence between testaments of the word. The God who waits, and his patience is the most loving thing I've heard. The God who waits, not tapping his foot, not checking his watch, not rushing the seed. The God who waits, his patience is everything I need. Jesus waited 30 years before his first miracle, 30 years of sawdust and silence in a carpenter shop. And the God who waits doesn't stop the show until the timing is so perfect that nobody can say stop. He waited 3 days before raising Lazarus, not one, not two, but three, because the wait made the miracle undeniable and clear. And the God who waits on purpose does it, because the wait produces something the shortcut could never engineer. Your process is not too slow for God. Your healing is not behind schedule in the heavenly planner of the year. And the God who waits for you is the same God who says, I'm right here. The God who waits, he is not in a hurry, and he is not frustrated by my process or my pace. The God who waits, patient beyond any human measure, sitting on the throne of grace. He waits without frustration. He waits without a clock. He waits with open arms, standing on the rock,
Not rushing, not pushing,
not hurrying the sea.
the God who waits,
Is the God I need.
he waits.
He waits, the most patient God. process.
Out of every moment I felt rushed by the world to heal faster, grow faster, arrive faster, and produce faster than my bones could carry. Out of every season I apologized for being slow, not knowing that the God of the universe was in no hurry to marry. God said, I waited for Noah, I waited for Lazarus, I waited 30 years before
My first miracle.
and I am waiting for you with the same love.
The God who waits.
And His patience is the kindest thing I've ever tasted from above.
The God who waits.
The God who waits,
The God who waits.
He is not in a hurry.
The roof they tore. The house was so packed with people that nobody else could get through the door or even close to the frame. But four men carrying a paralyzed friend on a mat refused to accept that the crowd was the end of the game. They climbed the roof with the paralyzed man on a stretcher up the side of someone else's house without permission or a key. And they started tearing the roof apart, tile by tile, until they made a hole big enough to lower him free. The owner of the house watched the ceiling ripped open and the dust and debris falling on the crowd below. And Jesus looked up through the hole and saw not the damage but the faith of the four who wouldn't let go. The roof they tore was not vandalism, it was desperation. The kind of faith that says if the door won't open, I make my own. And the paralyzed man was healed not by his faith, but by the faith of the friends who carried him to the throne. For when Jesus saw their faith, not his faith, but their faith, he said to the paralyzed man, tonight, son, your sins are forgiven. And the roof they tore became the doorway to the light. The roof they tore, when the door was blocked, four friends tore the ceiling open and lowered their friend to Jesus. Oh, the roof they tore. The faith of the ones who carry you is the faith that heals and frees us. Not his faith, but their faith. Jesus saw the faith of the four who wouldn't take no for an answer at the door. The roof they tore and the ceiling that was destroyed became the greatest entrance on the floor. The roof they tore. Sometimes healing comes through the faith of the people who carry you. The roof they tore. The friends who won't quit are the friends who break through. Moses held his hands up during the battle, and when his arms got tired, Aaron and Hur held them up for him from each side. And the battle was won not by Moses' strength, but by the friends who supported his arms when he almost died. Naomi had Ruth, who refused to leave her side, saying, where you go, I will go, and your God will be my God to the end. And the loyalty of one friend can change the entire trajectory of a life around the bend. You might be the paralyzed one tonight, unable to carry yourself to Jesus on your own 2 feet. But there are people in your life willing to tear the roof open and lay you at his feet. The roof they tore. When the door was blocked, four friends tore the ceiling open and lowered their friend to Jesus. Oh, carried him when he couldn't walk.
They tore the roof,
When the door was locked,
not his faith,
but their faith healed.
the roof they tore.
Is the ceiling peeled? Carry the roof they tore for him.
The roof they tore.
I don't have to carry myself to Jesus alone, because there are people willing to tear the roof apart to get me there.
The roof they tore.
And the faith of the friends who refuse to quit is the faith that moves the furniture and the prayer out of every closed door. I accepted as final, not knowing there were friends ready to climb the roof for me. Out of every crowd I couldn't push through alone, not knowing someone was already making a hole in the ceiling for free. Out of every moment I thought my healing depended only on my faith and my ability to walk, God said, look at the roof, your friends are tearing it open, and their faith is the top.
The roof they tore.
Moses had Aaron and her, Naomi had a roof, and tonight someone is tearing the ceiling for me.
The roof they tore.
And the faith of the ones who carry me is the faith that sets me free.
The roof they tore.
The roof they tore.
The roof they tore.
Their faith healed me.
The sheep wandered off, not out of rebellion, but out of curiosity, one step at a time, until the flock was nowhere in sight. And the shepherd counted 99 and knew that one was missing from the fold tonight. He didn't send a servant, he didn't file a report, he didn't wait until morning to begin the search with a plan. He left the 99 in the open country and went after the one, because that is who the shepherd is as a man. And when he found the sheep, it wasn't standing, it was stuck in a thorn bush, too exhausted to walk back home. And the shepherd didn't scold it, didn't drag it, didn't put a leash on it. He lifted it onto his own shoulders of bone. The shepherd's shoulders are the place where the lost sheep rides back to the fold without using its own legs tonight. And the journey home is not walked by the sheep, it is carried, because the shepherd's shoulders bear the weight and the light. For when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home tonight. And the sheep that was lost rides on the shoulders of the one who searched with all his might.
The shepherd's shoulders.
I don't have to walk home, because the
Shepherd carries me on his back. The shepherd's shoulders.
the one who found me lifted me, because I didn't have the strength to track. He didn't scold me, didn't drag me, didn't make me walk the distance I had wandered away in shame.
The shepherd's shoulders.
He put me on his back and carried me home just the same.
The shepherd's shoulders.
The journey home is the strength, not mine tonight.
The shepherd's shoulders.
And the ride back to the fold is the most peaceful height. Isaiah says he tends his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. And the shepherd who carries the lamb does doesn't carry it at arm's length. He carries it pressed against the deepest part. Jesus said, I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep without counting the cost. And the shepherd who dies for the sheep is the shepherd who carries the sheep that was lost. You are on his shoulders right now. You don't feel it because the ride is so smooth that you think you're still walking on your own. But the shepherd's shoulders have been carrying you since the moment you left the zone.
The shepherd's shoulders.
I don't have to walk home because the shepherd carries me on his back.
The shepherd's shoulders.
The one who found me lifted me because I didn't have the strength to track. On his shoulders
I ride home.
on his shoulders.
I'm not alone.
I don't walk,
He carries me,
the shepherd's shoulders.
set me free.
Carried, the shepherd carries me home. Oh,
The shepherd's shoulders.
I am being carried home right now by a shepherd who found me stuck in the thorns, too tired to take another step. Oh,
The shepherd's shoulders.
and the ride home on his back is the smoothest journey because his strength
Has never been bereft.
out of every mile I try to walk back to the fold on my own exhausted legs that couldn't carry the weight. Out of every step I forced, out of empty muscles, thinking I had to earn the walk back to the gate. Out of every moment I thought the journey home was my responsibility and my effort and my cost. The shepherd lifted me onto his shoulders and said, I carry the lost.
The shepherd's shoulders.
Luke 15, Isaiah 40, and tonight I ride on the strongest back in the universe.
The shepherd's shoulders.
And the journey home is not my walk, it is his verse.
The shepherd's shoulders. The shepherd's shoulders.
He carries me home.
Jesus taught in parables, stories about seeds and soil and sheep and coins and sons who left home. Every parable was a story that carried a truth too heavy for a lecture. What if your life, every chapter of it, is a parable that God is telling the world? Stay. The best song on this album is still ahead. Subscribe so you never miss one. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus, to do good works which God prepared in advance for us to do. Ephesians 2, verse 10.
Jesus never said, let me give you a lecture on forgiveness. He said a man had 2 sons, and the younger one left home. He never said, let me explain sovereignty. He said a farmer went out to sow, and some seeds fell on stone. Every truth Jesus taught was wrapped in a story, because stories carry weight that facts cannot hold on their own. And your life is a parable, a story God is telling the world through your flesh and your bone. The chapter where you fell is the parable of grace. The chapter chapter where you lost is the parable of faith. The chapter where you waited is the parable of patience. And the chapter where you broke is the parable of wraith. You are not living a random sequence of events that have no narrator and no point of view tonight. You are living a parable that God is telling, and every chapter is designed to teach something right. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works prepared in advance for us. And the parable of your life is the most personal story God tells without a fuss. The parable of you, my life, is a story God is telling the world, and every chapter has a lesson inside. The parable of you, the falls, the winds, the waves, the breaks are all parables that God designed.
Not random, not meaningless, not accidental, but a story being told with intention by the author of the world.
The parable of you,
And the narrative of my life is being unfurled.
the parable of you,
The chapter I'm in right now is teaching something I can't see it from the ground,
the parable of you.
but the author sees the lesson and the sound.
Joseph's life was a parable about sovereignty, sold into slavery, but promoted to prime minister by the hand of God. Ruth's life was a parable about loyalty, a foreigner who gleaned in a field and married the owner against all odds. David's life was a parable about preparation, a shepherd boy anointed king, but trained in caves for 13 years of night. And the parable of their lives is still being taught thousands of years later, because the story carried the light. Your parable might not look impressive right now, but the chapter you're living is the setup for the lesson God is about to reveal. And the parable of you will be told long after the chapter you're in right now is sealed. The parable of you, my life, is a story God is telling the world, and every chapter has a lesson inside.
The parable of you,
The falls, the winds, the waves, the breaks are all parables that God designed.
my life is a story.
God is the author,
My pain is a chapter.
not the disorder.
Every fall teaches grace.
Every way teaches faith.
The parable of me,
Is the story He creates.
parable.
Parable. I am the story God tells. The parable of you,
I am the story.
being told by the greatest author in the universe. And every chapter has a purpose, even the painful ones.
The parable of you,
And the lesson my life teaches will outlast me,
like the parables.
of the daughters and the sons. Out of every chapter I wanted to skip, because the pain on that page was too hard for me to read out loud. Out of every scene I wish God had edited out, because the failure was too visible in the crowd. Out of every moment I said, my life makes no sense, and the plot has no direction, and the story has no point. God said, you are my parable. Every chapter teaches something, and the story will not disappoint.
The parable of you,
Joseph, Ruth, David,
their parables are still being told.
and yours will be too.
The parable of you,
And the author is not done writing the story of you.
the parable of you, the parable of you.
The parable of you. I am the story. The parable of you. Yeah. Before the thunder shakes the sky, there is a voice, quiet, low, almost imperceptible to the untrained ear. A voice that speaks before the power falls, before the earthquake, before the fire, before the atmosphere clears. Elijah expected God in the earthquake, but God was not there. Expected him in the fire, but God was not in the flame. And after the fire came a gentle whisper, and that whisper was where God came. The voice before the thunder is the most important voice, because it carries the instruction for what comes next. And the ones who hear the whisper before the thunder are the ones who are the most blessed. God doesn't shout first, he whispers. And if you catch the whisper, you won't need to survive the thunder tonight, because the whisper prepared you for everything that follows in the fight. For after the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper tonight. And the voice before the thunder is the most important sound and the most important light. The voice before the thunder, God whispers before he shakes. And the whisper is where the instruction lives. The voice before the thunder, the ones who hear the quiet voice are the ones the thunder forgives. Not in the earthquake, not in the fire, not in the wind that tears the rocks apart with force. The voice before the thunder, the whisper is the chorus. The voice before the thunder, catch the whisper and the thunder won't catch you off guard. The voice before the thunder, the quietest voice is the strongest card. Samuel heard a voice at night, quiet, gentle, calling his name. And he didn't recognize it until Eli said, "That's God, go lie down." And the voice that whispered Samuel's name 3 times changed the entire trajectory of Israel's crown. Mary received a whisper from an angel, not to shout, not to billboard, not to trumpet from the sky, but a quiet voice in a quiet room that said, "You will carry the Son of the Most High." Your whisper is coming tonight, not in the earthquake, not in the spectacle, but in the quiet moment before the big reveal. And the voice before the thunder carries everything you need to hear and feel. The voice before the thunder, God whispers before he shakes. And the whisper is where the instruction lives. The voice before the thunder, the ones who hear the quiet voice are the ones the thunder forgives. The voice before the thunder is a hush.
The voice before the thunder.
Elijah heard it, Samuel heard it, Mary heard it, and tonight I hear it too.
The voice before the thunder.
The whisper is where God gives the greatest breakthrough.
The voice before the thunder.
The voice before the thunder. I hear the whisper. I hear the whisper. I hear the whisper. Oh no, no, oh no. The painting is not done. The artist is still holding the brush, and the canvas has empty spaces that haven't received their color yet. You looked at your life and said, this is a mess. The colors don't match, the lines are crooked, and the composition is a threat. But you are looking at an unfinished painting, and judging an unfinished work is like reviewing a movie after the first scene. The artist has not put the brush down. The masterpiece is still in progress, and the final stroke hasn't been seen. Michelangelo spent 4 years on the Sistine Chapel ceiling, and for 3 of those years it looked like a disaster of wet plaster. But the finished ceiling is the most famous painting in the world, because the artist didn't quit after the first chapter. God is the artist, you are the canvas, and the brush is still wet with paint that hasn't been applied to your frame. And the unfinished masterpiece that you call a mess is about to receive the colors that change the game. Oh, for he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus tonight. And the artist who started the painting will not put the brush down until the masterpiece is right. The unfinished masterpiece. The artist is still painting, and the brush is still wet, and the canvas still has blank spaces to fill. The unfinished masterpiece. Judging an unfinished work is judging a movie before the thrill. Oh, the colors look wrong because the final colors haven't been applied to the canvas yet today.
The unfinished masterpiece.
And the artist who started will not walk away.
The unfinished masterpiece.
The empty spaces are not mistakes, brush is still wet and the canvas still has blank spaces to fill. The unfinished masterpiece, judging an unfinished work, is judging a movie before the thrill. The brush is still wet, the canvas still blank, the art is still painting, the colors still rank. Don't judge the middle, wait for the end. The unfinished masterpiece will make you transcend. Still painting, still painting. The masterpiece isn't done. Down, and he will not until the final stroke is placed. The unfinished masterpiece, and the version of me that exists right now, is not the finished version. The best colors haven't been faced. God counted the stars and gave each one a name, not to number a name. Billions of burning suns, and every single one has an identity. He counts the hairs on your head, not estimates, not approximates, but counts. The God of infinite detail and specificity. He designed the striped pattern on the zebra, and no two zebras have the same stripes in the same place. He designed the fingerprint on your thumb, and no other human in 7 billion has your pattern or your face. The God of details doesn't do general, he does specific, particular, precise, intentional in every choice. He didn't create a generic bird, he created 10,000 species, each with a different song and a different voice. And the God who detailed the wing pattern of a butterfly with microscopic scales of color on each side is the same God who detailed every chapter of your life with the same precision and the same pride. For even the very hairs of your head are all numbered, so don't be afraid tonight. You are worth more than many sparrows, and the God of details counts you in his sight. The God of details, the same God who named every star, detailed the stripes on every zebra and counted my hairs. The God of details, nothing about me is generic or accidental in his prayers. He didn't create me in a batch or stamp me from a mold or mass produce my existence on a line. The God of details, every freckle, every fingerprint, every wrinkle was designed to be mine. The God of details, if he details the butterfly's wing, he details my destiny tonight. God of details, the smallest thing receives his greatest sight. Jesus noticed the widow dropping 2 coins while everyone else was watching the rich give gold from their stores. He noticed the woman with the issue of blood touch touches hem in a crowd of thousands pressing on his doors. He noticed Zacchaeus in a tree, one small man in one tree in one crowd, and called him by name down from the branch. And the God of details notices you, the smallest gesture, the quietest prayer, the most invisible glance. Your situation is not too small for the God who counts hairs and names, stars and designs, butterfly wings. And the God of details is paying attention to all of your things. The God of details, the same God who named every star, detailed the stripes on every zebra and counted my hairs. The God of details, nothing about me is generic or accidental in his prayers. He counts the hairs, he names the stars, he sees the widow, he heals the scars. Nothing too small for his attention. The God of details is beyond comprehension. Details, details, he sees everything. The God of details, the God who designed 10,000 bird species and counted the hairs on my head, is paying attention to my smallest prayer tonight. The God of details, and nothing in my life is too insignificant for the God who details the microscopic wing of a butterfly in flight. Oh, out of every prayer I didn't pray because I thought it was too small for God to care about or hear. Out of every detail I handled alone because I assumed God only deals with the big picture, not the gear. Out of every tear I wiped alone, thinking God was too busy with galaxies to notice my face was wet. God said I count hairs, I name stars, I noticed the widow's coin. Your detail is not a threat. The God of details, he noticed Zacchaeus, he noticed the widow, he noticed the hem, and he noticed there's you. The God of details, and the smallest detail of your life receives his full review. The God of details, the God of details. Oh, nothing is too small.
At the end of every day, the shepherd stands at the gate of the fold and counts every sheep that walks through the door. 88, 89, and 90, his lips move with every number until the very last one touches the floor. He doesn't estimate, he doesn't round up, he doesn't say, looks like they're all here more or less tonight. He counts because every single sheep has a face and a name and a place in his sight. And if the count stops at 99 instead of 100, the shepherd doesn't shrug and say close enough, that's fine. He leaves the safe ones and goes into the darkness because the count has to reach the light. The shepherd's count is not about the ones who are safe inside the fold with hay beneath their feet tonight. The shepherd's count is about the one who is missing, because one missing changes the math in the light. For suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them, doesn't he leave the rest tonight and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? Because the count must be right. The shepherd's count, every sheep has a name, and the count must reach 100 before the shepherd sleeps. The shepherd's count, one missing changes everything, and the shepherd searches the deeps
almost all is not enough.
Close enough is not close enough.
The count must be complete tonight.
The shepherd's count.
Because you are the one that makes the number right.
The shepherd's count.
He counts at the gate every single day, and your name is on the list.
The shepherd's count.
And when you're missing, you are deeply missed. God told Moses to count the people of Israel, tribe by tribe, family by family, name by name, because the number matters to the king. Jesus said the Father knows when the sparrow falls, and you are worth more than many sparrows on the wing. The God who counts sparrows counts you, not as a statistic but as a name. And the absence of one name changes everything in the full. And the shepherd's count that comes up short at the end of the day is the count that sends the shepherd into the core. You might feel like a number in the world system, but in the shepherd's fold you are a name that must be counted at the door. And the shepherd will not sleep until your name is checked off, and the count reaches the core.
The shepherd's count.
Every sheep has a name, and the count must reach 100 before
the shepherd sleeps. The shepherd's count.
One missing changes everything, and the shepherd searches the deeps.
1, 2, 3.
He counts every name. Oh,
the last one missing
is not the same.
The count must reach
100 tonight.
One missing
sends the shepherd into the night.
Count, count.
Oh, 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 oh.
The shepherd counts everyone.
Oh, oh, oh.
Count, count.
Oh, oh, oh. The shepherd counts everyone.
Count.
I am not a number in the system. I am a name that must be counted at the gate every single night.
The shepherd's count.
And the absence of my name on the list sends the shepherd searching until the count is right. Out of every moment I felt invisible and uncounted, like a number lost in the database of the world. Out of every season I believed nobody would notice if I disappeared from the fold unfurled. Out of every night I thought my absence wouldn't change anything, and the world would keep spinning without my name. God said the count came up short. One is missing, and the shepherd is already searching your frame.
The shepherd's count.
Moses counted Israel, Jesus counts sparrows, and tonight the shepherd counts me. The shepherd's count. And my name makes the number complete and sets the counting free. The shepherd's count. The shepherd's count. I am counted. I am counted.
Peter went up on the rooftop to pray at noon. And while he prayed, God opened a vision that changed the direction of the entire church. The rooftop prayer is the prayer you pray when you go higher than everyone else. Above the noise, above the crowd, above the opinions. And from the rooftop, God shows you things nobody else can see. Share this with someone who needs peaceful music today. Hit like so more people can find it. About noon, Peter went up on the roof to pray. He became hungry and wanted something to eat. And while the meal was being prepared, he fell into a trance. Acts 10, verses 9 and 10.
Peter climbed the stairs to the rooftop while the meal was being prepared on the ground floor below. And the rooftop was high enough to separate him from the noise of the kitchen and the street's flow. The rooftop prayer is not a prayer from the living room where the television is on and the phone keeps buzzing in your pocket.
It's the prayer you pray when you climb above the distractions and lock yourself in a different socket. From the rooftop Peter saw a vision, a sheet coming down from heaven with animals he was told to eat. And the vision from the rooftop changed the entire direction of the gospel, from exclusive to complete. The rooftop prayer is where God downloads the visions that change the trajectory of nations and families and lives. And the elevation of the prayer determines the elevation of what arrives. For Peter went up on the roof to pray, and while he prayed, God opened the vision from above tonight. And the height of the prayer determined the height of the sight.
The rooftop prayer.
When I go higher than the noise, God shows me things I couldn't see from the ground. Elevation in prayer produces elevation in vision and sound. Peter climbed the stairs and from the roof saw what the kitchen couldn't show him in the steam.
The rooftop prayer.
The higher the prayer, the bigger the dream.
The rooftop prayer.
Above the noise, above the crowd, above the opinions of the street.
The rooftop prayer.
The view from the roof makes the vision complete. Elijah prayed on top of Mount Carmel, and fire fell from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the water and the stone. And the elevation of his prayer was the elevation that brought the fire home. Daniel prayed with his windows open toward Jerusalem. Elevated prayer pointed in the direction of the promise and the throne. And the rooftop prayer that could have gotten him killed was the rooftop prayer that saved him from the lion's zone. Your prayer from the couch is valid, but your prayer from the rooftop carries a different frequency and height. And the God who meets you on the roof shows you things invisible from the floor tonight. The rooftop prayer. When I go higher than the noise, God shows me things I couldn't see from the ground. Elevation in prayer produces elevation in vision and sound. Go
Higher to pray.
climb above the noise,
Go higher to see
what heaven deploys.
the rooftop prayer.
Opens the sky. The higher I climb, the more I see why. Rooftop, rooftop,
Climb and pray.
climb and pray.
Climb and pray.
The rooftop prayer. I am climbing above the noise, above the distractions, above the opinions, and I am praying from the highest place I can reach. The rooftop prayer. And the vision that God shows me from the rooftop is the vision that the ground floor could never teach. Out of every prayer I prayed from the living room floor, with the TV on and the phone buzzing in my hand. Out of every comfortable prayer that never required me to climb higher or to stand. Out of every ground level prayer that kept me seeing ground level visions without the altitude. God said, climb to the roof. The vision I have for you requires altitude, not servitude. The rooftop prayer. Peter saw it, Elijah received fire, Daniel faced lions, and the rooftop produced them all.
The rooftop prayer.
Climb higher and the vision gets bigger, and the prayer gets tall. The rooftop prayer.
The rooftop prayer.
I climb and I pray.
The rooftop prayer.
I climb and I pray.
Every well I drank from in this world eventually ran dry. The bucket came up empty and the rope had nothing to pull.
The well of relationships, the well of money, the well of achievement, all promised water but delivered a skull. I kept lowering the bucket into wells that were already exhausted, thinking this time there will be water at the bottom of the shaft. But the bucket came back with dust and dirt, and the well laughed at my craft. But there is a well that has never run dry, never once. Not in a drought, not in a famine, not in a desert season without rain. A well so deep that the water source is connected to an underground river that has no end and no drain. Jesus told the woman at the well, whoever drinks the water I give will never thirst again, and the water becomes a spring. And the unfailing well is not external, it is internal. A well that God digs inside you and fills with everything. For whoever drinks the water I give them will never thirst, and the water will become a spring of eternal life tonight. And the unfailing well is the only well that never runs dry in the light.
The unfailing well.
There is a well
inside of me
that is connected to a source that never runs dry.
Lord, please.
The unfailing well. Every other well I drank from eventually came up empty, but this well never retreats. The well of money dried up, the well of people dried up, the well of health dried up in the drought.
The unfailing well.
But the well that Jesus dug inside me has never run out.
The unfailing well.
A spring of eternal life flowing from the inside out without any pump.
Well.
The deepest well with the most water at every jump. Isaac dug wells in the valley, and his enemies kept filling them with dirt and stealing his water rights. But Isaac kept digging new wells until he found one that nobody could contest or fight. He called it Rehoboth, which means open space, because God made room for him where the enemies couldn't block the flow. And the unfailing well that God digs for you is the well that no enemy can close or overthrow. Your enemies might fill your wells with dirt, but God keeps digging new ones deeper, and the last one they destroy. And the unfailing well that God provides has never once been null or void.
The unfailing well.
There is a well
inside of me
that is connected to a source that never runs dry.
Lord, please.
The unfailing well. Every other well I drank from eventually came up empty, but this well never retreats. Oh, the well runs deep, the water flows, no drought can stop what God bestows. Every other well
ran dry in time.
the unfailing well
Is the divine.
deep, deep, the well never dries.
Unfailing well.
I am drinking from a well that is connected to an underground river that has no end.
And no bottom.
The unfailing well, and every other well that ran dry was preparing me for the well that has never been forgotten. Out of every dry well where the bucket came back empty, and the rope burned my hands from pulling nothing up. Out of every well I drank from that promised satisfaction, but left me thirstier with an empty cup. Out of every drought season where every external well ran dry at the same time, and I had nothing left to drink, God said, I dug a well inside you. It's connected to me, and it will never reach the brink.
The unfailing well.
Isaac kept digging, the woman at the well found Jesus, and tonight I drink from the source.
The unfailing well.
And the well that God placed inside He read the headlines of your life, the big events, the major chapters, the moments everyone remembers and recalls. But God lives between the lines, in the margins, in the footnotes, in the tiny details that nobody installs. He's in the pause between two sentences, the breath between two words, the comma, not the exclamation mark. He's in the Tuesday afternoon, not just the Sunday morning, in the ordinary, not just the landmark. The God between the lines is the God who shows up in the details that don't make the highlight reel tonight. The conversation you almost didn't have that changed everything. That was God between the lines of your life script, the parking spot that was open when you were late, the stranger who smiled when you were about to break and be stripped. God lives in the in-between, the space between the mountain tops, the ordinary Wednesday where nothing seems to happen on the ground. For in Him we live and move and have our being. Every moment, not just the big ones, carries His sound. And the God between the lines is present in the ordinary ground. The God between the lines, He lives in the details that don't make the headlines of my story tonight. The God between the lines, the ordinary Tuesday, the random smile, the parking spot, the light. Not just the miracles, not just the breakthroughs, not just the Sunday morning revelation. The God between the lines, present in the margins of every situation. The God between the lines, the comma, not the exclamation, mark the breath, not the shout. The God between the lines and the ordinary is where He hangs out. Ruth didn't know she was in a love story when she was gleaning in the field, picking up leftover grain for dinner. And the God between the lines of an ordinary Tuesday was positioning her to be a winner. Esther didn't know she was saving the nation when she was getting dressed for a dinner with the king on an average night. And the God between the lines of her routine was orchestrating the most important fight. Your ordinary day, the one where nothing seems to be happening, might be the most important day in your entire timeline. Because the God between the lines does His deepest work in the most ordinary design. God between the lines, He lives in the details that don't make the headlines of my story tonight. The God between the lines, the ordinary Tuesday, the random smile, the parking spot, the light. In the margins, in the footnotes, in the ordinary, in the small notes, between the chapters, between the scenes. The God between the lines knows what it means. Between God lives between the lines. The God between the lines, the God between the lines. The most important moments of my life didn't happen on the stage. They happened in the margins where nobody was watching. The God between the lines. And the God who lives in the ordinary details is the God whose presence is the most refreshing. Out of every headline I chase, thinking God only shows up in the dramatic moments of the story. Out of every ordinary day I dismissed as meaningless, not knowing God was working in the margins of His glory. Out of every footnote I skipped, not knowing the footnote was the key to understanding the entire page. God said I live between the lines, in the margins, in the commas, and the ordinary is my favorite stage. God between the lines. Ruth gleaned, Esther dressed, and the ordinary became extraordinary on their watch. God between the lines. In the ordinary day I'm living
important notch.
God between the lines.
God between the lines. He is in the ordinary.
Every book has a last page, the page where the story ends, and the reader closes the cover and breathes. The last page is the page that carries the final word, the word that determines how the reader grieves or believes. Your story has a last page. You don't know when it comes, and you don't know what's written on it yet tonight. But the author who writes your story already knows the last sentence, and the last period, and the last light. The last page of every story God writes is a good last page. Not because every chapter was easy or painless in the plot, but because the author who writes the endings is the author who makes all things work together in the night. Romans says he works all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his design. And the last page is where all the threads converge, and the mess becomes the most beautiful line. For we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him tonight. And the last page is where the mess becomes the masterpiece in the light. The last page, the author already knows how my story ends, and the ending is good. The last page, every painful chapter was leading to a final sentence that says it all turned out as it should. The threads that were tangled, the plots that were confusing, the characters that hurt me in the middle of the tale. The last page ties every loose end together, and the story does not fail. The last page, I don't know what's on it, but I know who wrote it, and that is enough. The last page, the author writes good endings even when the middle is rough. Joseph's last page was a palace. After the pit, the slavery, the prison, the betrayal by every brother he had known. And the last page redeemed every chapter, because the author was building a throne. Ruth's last page was a grandmother to kings. After the death, the poverty, the gleaning, and the foreign land without a friend. And the last page proved that the author writes the most beautiful end. Your last page is already written. The author wrote it before your first chapter began to unfold on the shelf. And the last page of your story is the page that redeems every other page by itself. The last page, the author already knows how my story ends, and the ending is good. The last page, every painful chapter was leading to a final sentence that says it all turned out as it should. The last page is written,
The ending is good.
the author finished
What he said he would.
every tangled chapter.
Every painful scene.
The last page redeems
Everything in between.
last page.
Last page.
The ending is already written. The last page, I am trusting the author, because the one who wrote my first page is the one who already wrote my last. no sense. Out of every scene, I begged the author to end the story early, because the middle was too intense. Out of every moment, I closed the book on myself, thinking, this is where the story dies and the reader gives up. God said, I already wrote the last page, and it's good. Trust me and fill the cup. The last page, Joseph's ended in a palace, Ruth's ended in a lineage, and mine ends where God designed. The last page, and the author who writes good endings already wrote mine. The last page. The last page. The ending is good. The last page.